Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. A recent video has circulated in which a Labour councillor appealed to the Muslim community to return to supporting the Labour Party now that Keir Starmer has stepped down. I want to respond clearly and without ambiguity. When our community needed your voice most, yes, you were absent. More than 76,000 men, women and children have been killed in Gaza. The region has been devastated beyond recognition. Access to food, water, electricity, and medical aid has been deliberately cut off. Yet throughout this tragedy, not for a single day did the Labour Party nationally or locally stand with our community. Not once did you raise your voice to acknowledge the suffering, to name the atrocities, or to demand justice. It is a humanitarian catastrophe, a genocide, and 76,000 innocent people have been killed. Children, mothers, fathers, entire families have been wiped out. A whole population starved, bombed, and cut off from food, water, electricity, and basic necessities like medical aid. And through all of this, Labour was silent. It's 1,029 days, 2 years, 9 months, and 22 days. We begged them to speak. We asked them to show humanity. We asked them to call it what it is, a genocide. But they didn't. They chose silence. They chose politics. They chose their seats over our suffering. Let us be honest. Keir Starmer did not operate alone. He left a full shadow cabinet and the largest group of MPs in Parliament. The silence was not his alone. It was the silence of the entire Labour Party and Labour councillors. And now that Sir Keir Starmer has stepped down, they come back to us. They ask us to return. They ask us to forget, as if nothing happened. They ask us to pretend their silence never happened. But how can we forget? Labour now say that mistakes were made. Okay, that may be true, but have they ever actually stated that what is happening in Gaza is genocide? No, you have not. Instead, you continue to chase votes, prioritizing political survival over moral responsibility. The pain felt by our communities here and abroad has been secondary to protecting your own positions. How can we forget when Labour said Israel has a right to defend itself, even as children starved? How can we forget when hospitals were bombed and aid was blocked? How can we forget when families were buried alive under rubble? And even today, even now, they still refuse to call it genocide. Yet they want our votes, they want our trust, they want our support. Astaghfirullah, what answer will we give the Almighty if we return to those who turn their backs on the oppressed? My brothers and sisters, listen carefully. Our community is not a political accessory. We are not a vote to be collected when convenient. We are here to save anyone's seats. We are people of conscience. We are people of faith. We are people who stand for justice, even when it is difficult, even when it is unpopular. Labour failed us when it mattered most. They failed Gaza, they failed humanity, and they failed black men. So let me say this clearly. How can we return to a party that was silent when children were starving? How can we return to a party that defended the cutting off electricity, food, water, and medical aid to civilians? How can we return to a party that refused to speak when hospitals were bombed and families were buried under rubble? We remember their words. Israel has the right to defend itself, even as thousands of children, men, women were starved, even as medicine was blocked, even as aid was denied, even as the world watched a humanitarian catastrophe unfold. Labour failed us when it mattered the most. And we will not be taken for granted any longer. We cannot go back. We will not go back. How can we face 76,000 men, women and children who were murdered? And today, they still avoid the word genocide. Yet they ask us to come back and vote for them. This is not about left or right. This is not about political strategy. This is about standing with the oppressed. This is about refusing to be silent. This is about honouring our values, our faith, and our community. Even when 5 councillors left Labour, that number has now grown to 16. They are now the main opposition to Blackburn's Labour group. That alone speaks volumes. In just 2 years, your local standing has collapsed. You have become complacent in Blackburn. Your arrogance has let reform in. Yes, your actions in Blackburn have let reform in. You have let communities down in the whole of Blackburn. The 4BWD group is now holding you to account for every neglected responsibility. They work tirelessly, not for one community alone, not only for Muslims or Asian residents, but for all of Blackburn. They ensure every voice is heard and every resident is valued. This pattern is visible across the UK. Labour councillors are resigning in growing numbers, and independent councillors and MPs are rising nationwide. So why ask us to return now? Their answer is simple: fear of losing your seats. This is not about solidarity with Palestine. It is not about compassion for communities. It is about political self-preservation, nothing more. You turned your back on us when we needed you the most. You have let Blackburn down. You cannot expect our support now simply because you fear losing power. We will not be taken for granted any longer. Our community deserves honesty, accountability, and genuine leadership, not political convenience when it suits you. Blackburn will not be taken for granted ever again. Thank you very much for listening. This is just a part 1, part 2 on LGR coming soon. Thank you.